We are live from the garage. How is everybody tonight? Tonight, guys, we are going to have a very, you didn't have any sound on the song. See, guys, I'm not using my normal eCam thing. I don't know what happened. That's all right. Because you got to see the little graphic and the lyrics. You know the song. You know how it goes. Just sing it. Just sing it. So hopefully everything else gets better from here, because live from down under, we have the one and only Per Scientology Audit. Come on in here. That's
Good
right,
morning.
Oh my goodness, guys!
I couldn't
if you don't know
resist.
what that is, this is a real Outback walkabout, find your spiritual self hat. If you don't have corks hanging from your hat, you're not a real Aussie.
That's it. I got told I had to do it, so here it is. But no, I can't see, so I'm taking it off.
Okay, we're gonna just put on the regular one. It's all good. Ree is in the house. Hey, Ree. I'm going to be on with Ree on Monday. So I'm getting a whole tour of Australia here with my Aussie friends. I'm very, very excited. I have never been to Australia, to either side.
I'm so grateful, because we want more attention on Australia. There's stuff going on here and it needs to be spoken about, you know. I'm just going to shut my door.
Okay, go for it.
Well, as you can see, my horrible bathroom out there.
Hey, listen, you have a bathroom. That's the good news.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm grateful for my bathroom, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so happy to be on with you. Get out of here. So, guys, this is what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is super important. As you know, on my channel, we've talked a lot about America, but just in Scientology in general. And the history of Scientology in Australia is kind of a weird one, right? So he went to Australia like after sailing around and landing Flag Land Base in America in the 70s. And then Australian Scientology kind of popped up when?
Actually, he first came to Australia in 1955.
Okay.
Yeah, as a psychological science.
Ooh.
And he bragged that Australia was going to be the first clear continent. Yeah.
Right.
And loads of people started complaining. They were getting like schizophrenia and just going troppo. And so they did the Anderson report, which you might have heard of.
Okay.
It's the Anderson report. They did a big inquiry into it and everything. And it's available to read online. It's quite interesting, because they talk about how it's people getting hypnotized and all of this. So
right. They called it out for exactly what it was at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a massive cult.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, and the result of that was that Victoria, the first church in Australia was in Melbourne, in Victoria. And so Victoria passed a law which required psychological practices to be registered. So Hubbard didn't like that. But they also banned like the use of e-meters and teaching Scientology for money. So that prompted, apparently that's what prompted Hubbard to change it to a religion. So, yeah.
Right. Because as we all know, Dianetics is the science of the mind. So Hubbard's first marketing of everything is that it's a legit science, right? So I think people forget that, even though the Church of Scientology was officially incorporated in 1952, he was still marketing Dianetics as a science, where he was, doing his carny stuff around the world. He was always trying to get it 100% legitimized anywhere. When America failed, Australia was next. They tried England. They tried all these places to be like, I'm a scientist. I've discovered something sciencey. And everybody's like, sir, no, that's not it. Please stop trying to make fetch happen. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
So then for a while, wasn't Scientology illegal? Or was it?
Yeah, so they made it illegal in 1965, and that was it was banned in Victoria for 8 years, South Australia for 5 years, WA for 4 years. But they fought it. They took it to like the highest court and everything, and they fought it, and obviously like he changed it to a religion. So it is still here today, unfortunately.
Right, because they just sort of stayed. They didn't leave when they got declared illegal. Even though they were a religion, they didn't have religious status. They were just like, we'll stick it out. We'll just we'll wait.
Yeah. He wasn't backing down. Definitely.
Oh no. Well, Australia is one of the few places where they had a cadet org because it was a Sea Org hub.
Yeah.
They had the cadet org and one of the RPFs on the planet. The RPFs on the planet, the Rehabilitation Project Forces, were in Los Angeles, Clearwater, England, the EU, which was Denmark, wherever that was,
Copenhagen,
and then Copenhagen. Thank you, and then Australia. Those were the
and
5 places.
Johannesburg, they have a sea.
Did they?
Well, I think they have now.
Joburg RPF too. But I mean, the only reason I question mark that is because when I was on the RPF, there was like all these people from South Africa on the RPF with me in Los Angeles. So I think they might have stopped it there kind of earlier. Also, there weren't a tremendous amount of Sea Org members. Let's be honest, in South Africa. So to run a program like that, you have to have a whole infrastructure, and they didn't have like enough people to warrant the infrastructure of that, right?
Yeah.
But Australia did. Australia was a big hub of Scientology for many decades.
Yeah, well, they're still a big hub. I've got it all written down here.
Yeah, give it. Listen, this is why you're here. You're the Australian. You and Ree are the Australian experts. I got you.
So we call it. I don't know how they say it. What do you call it? The Australian Saint Hill, the Saint Hill thingy.
ANZO.
So so it's AOSH ANZO. That's how it's spelled.
AOSH, so the Advanced Organization Saint Hill at Australia, New Zealand, Oceania. ANZO.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So they are they run Australia, New Zealand, Japan, India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Pacific Islands. They've got like I think there's a lot of applied scholastics going on in the Solomon Islands.
Yeah.
The Philippines, and one of the biggest recruitment drives, like they've got an org in Taiwan, which they've had for over 10 years. They have a lot of Taiwanese over here.
Oh,
Japanese.
yeah. And in America too. Yeah, they used to anyway.
Yeah. So it's and there's
people
also
are critiquing your accent right now, T. Let's before we jump into Scientology mumbo jumbo, let's get to know our friend here, T. Where are you from? Tell me your life story. No, just where are you from?
I'm a bit of a mongrel. So I grew up in Glasgow. I used to have a Scottish accent. I lived there till I was 14. Then I lived in England until I lived in England for ages. So hence the English accent. I actually got bullied at school for having a Scottish accent. I got picked on. So I put on an English accent and it stuck. So the first time I came to Australia was in 2007. Yeah. And I fell in love with it. I'd never felt at home in the UK after leaving Scotland. I still feel at home when I go back to Scotland. But yeah, I never got on in England. Had been through a lot of trauma. And I think maybe that's why I don't like being there.
But also that's probably because you're Scottish. I mean, let's be honest. People joke about it, but there is a big beef still right now between Scotland and England. Like,
I was a victim of it. I got bullied for it, you know.
Yeah. So, oh, no. Like being Scottish is like equivalent of being like, like a criminal here. I mean, it's just, no. Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. But I love the Scottish accent. I'm sure you've heard me do it, bastardize it many times. But yeah, it's funny that people, in England are so mean about if you're from different areas of England, let's be honest, like someone from London hates people from Sunderland.
Yeah, you got the northern monkeys.
Liverpool,
Yeah, you got the northern monkeys and the southern fairies. Yeah, they're just all.
But it's the same. It's the same everywhere. I mean, like, let's be honest. It's the same here in America. People in New York are like, we're the only Americans. And then you've got the South and like all their different accents. And then the Midwest with their weird stuff. And then you got the West Coast people, so it's all very tribalistic wherever you go. I mean, even in Australia, I heard the only Australian joke I've ever heard in my whole life is like, it was like some, giveaway or something, and they were like, first prize is a trip to Perth, and everyone's like, oh, what's third prize?
Because we're kind of like, so Western Australia, it's such a huge state. It takes up almost half of Australia if you look at it on the map. And we're sort of, it's like Western Australia and then the eastern states. Like there's a divide even in Australia. We're very, it's a very sparsely populated state. It's very slow and, you know, the shops aren't open till 11 a.m. on Sundays and stuff like that. So they call it like WA time, you know, we're behind. So yeah, there's we are apparently very different.
But then there's like the rest of Australia and Melbourne and Sydney, you know, or Gold Coast, you know, and everyone else is like, oh, you're from where? That's fun.
Yeah, and people fly over. Like people go, I'm visiting Australia, and I'm going to be in Sydney. You know, we should meet up. And it's like, dude, it's like a 5-6 hour flight. You know,
that's like people going, I'm going to be in America. I'm going to be in Brooklyn. Like, okay, well, have a great time. I've never been. Like, I'm across the country.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think that there needs to be a bigger voice over here, and I'm also going to start like kicking up a fuss about other cults in Australia as well, because there's up to 3,000 cults here, you know.
What?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff going on.
It's like a Korean there.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a big Korean cult going on at the moment. I can't pronounce it.
I'm not even going to try. Or it's something else?
No, it's like it's something beginning with S. I can't pronounce it.
Is it the 7M TikTok cult?
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh God, you got to watch that show.
Yeah.
I watch every cult show that comes out. It's probably not good for my mental health, but I love it. Because what's interesting to me when watching those is that, like, as a survivor of a cult, right, growing up in it and everything else, you see the commonalities, and then you also see these people who clearly started a new cult after like doing 2 things in Scientology and were like, I could do this. And then they just fucking go like NXIVM. That guy in Scientology was like, you know what Scientology needs? A harem of sex slaves. I'm gonna do it.
Like sextology.
basically. And he was like, you know what's better? I love the scene in Top Gun where they play volleyball. So we're just going to throw volleyball in the cult too. And now perfection, right? I mean, it's just like, what is going on? You know, I mean, I understand it now after doing a lot of research on cults and
I don't remember that scene.
The volleyball scene in Top Gun. Oh man.
It's been a long time, and I don't really want to watch it.
I don't watch his movies anymore, but I mean, because I'm an '80s baby, we all watched that movie like 100 times. We all thought that our first sex time was going to be like that scene, you know, with the music and the wind machine.
It was very disappointing.
Everyone's let down. Fuck you, Tom Cruise. Like fucking lying to us like that.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm an 80s baby as well. I was born in 81, so
okay. You're younger than me, but that's good.
Yeah.
I'm a bicentennial baby. Though. You feel older.
Oh yeah. I think so. I'm saving up to get the shots done.
Yeah.
I think once I've had those shots, because I'm just so tensed up and in pain all the time, and I'm perimenopausal at 42. You know, like and I'm
hormones are real, y'all.
Yeah. And I'm doing it all by myself, you know, with my son, and I don't have any family here or anything, so I get tired.
Are they all back in Scotland still?
Oh, my dad's in Scotland. The rest of my family are in England. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And my son's father's family, I don't have any contact with because, well, his mum's absolutely like woohoo, like proper. Yeah, she's not allowed anywhere near my son. She's dangerous.
Wow.
So yeah.
But that's okay. You're a rock and rolling mom doing it all.
Yeah, no, I get to do everything my way, and I don't have anyone like bothering me, you know. So it's good.
Every woman's dream.
Yes, yeah, it's brilliant. But that's why I've been single for so long, because I don't want anyone coming in and messing that up. You know, I'm quite happy as I am. I'm like a little old lady set in my ways. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, you are a vivacious, wonderful woman. Don't sell yourself short. But I get you. I get you on the, like, you know, wanting to have things your way. Like when I first came out of the closet, I'll be honest, I was like, I didn't know if I was going to actually find somebody, because after being in like a heavy relationship for over a decade, it was like, and jumping into a whole other, grocery list of things that I had not experienced, I wasn't sure. And I lucked out and it was like a 1 in a bajillion chance meeting my wife and, fell madly in love. So, it could still happen. It could still,
it's just happened to one of my friends.
Unexpected.
Yeah, it's just happened to one of my friends. She found out she had ADHD, and then the following year autism, and then the year after that she's just wanting to try being with the same sex, and she's like,
Wow.
"Oh, this is the real deal. Like, I've never felt anything like this before." And she's got a partner now, and she's all loved up, and it's lovely to see, So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Life's a whole journey of discovery and stuff, isn't it? And it can be very exciting and roller coaster ride.
Oh my God. Yeah. And don't forget that as women, we are so easily, cult or not, we are so easily devastatingly hard on ourselves in terms of our looks, what we're doing, our adequacy as parents, our, accomplishments in life. Listen. This is, and I told my daughter this because she's 17. And so I was trying to start a good habit with her before she turned 48, and then had to start doing this. But I told her that every day she needs to look in the mirror and tell herself that she loves herself. Not like, oh, you're pretty or like whatever. Just like really be, in love with herself. Because if you don't know what you want, if you don't know what makes you happy, what makes you feel good, no other person is going to do that for you. There's never going to be that person that just, everything's perfect now, because that lasts for like a few moments. It's very fleeting. Just like what Scientology gives you, right? Like they give you this like little teeny bit of like, that's awesome. And then it's gone. And so you have to get more. Or you tell yourself it's your fault and you have to get more in order to become better, in order to keep evolving and things like that, So it's a wild ride getting old, and hormones and all the things. I mean, it really is. It's totally nuts. But
it's just another chapter. It's just another chapter in life, and you just, once you get used to it, you're like, well, this is it, and like just live your best life,
100%. Now let me ask you.
Just have a swig of my Captain Davies tears.
Get some of Captain Davies' tears. I love that so much. That's amazing. But what I want to say, what is the most?
They taste so good.
What is the most pressing problem right now in terms of Scientology in Australia? Like, what's the biggest deal happening?
Well, I've noticed, I think because they've got these, so the first Ideal Org was in Melbourne, and that was open in 2011. Obviously they've got like the whole Sydney thing going on. There's, I think, three or four buildings there. They've got obviously the headquarters, then they've got, which is huge, Chatsworth. Then they've got a big church, and then they've got the old headquarters, which was I think it's probably still is the RPF. And they've done it all up and put a silent birthing unit in there and everything, and that's like in West. So they've got 3 or 4 buildings going on there. They opened the Ideal Org here in Perth. They had like a small crappy place in the city centre. It was like above some shops or something. They had that for like, I don't know, over 40 years. So they opened the Ideal Org in Perth in 2018, I think. Wow. And it's just they're starting, like Aaron said they were going to do, they're starting, like, they've got more bodies on the streets and stuff, and they're doing all the whole promoting, putting leaflets in people's letterboxes. And I've there's not really, it's very quiet in Perth, so that's why I've decided to sort of try and branch out. I mean, it's very expensive to fly domestically within Australia, but even if I go to a different org every 6 months,
so odd to me that they haven't fixed that problem, right? It's like, you're gonna do it.
There's a lot of minors here and stuff, and you've got, I don't know, they use, I don't know, but it's actually cheaper to fly internationally than it is within our country. So that's why a lot of Aussies go on holiday to Indonesia. They go to Bali because it's like, it's so much cheaper. Like you can get a hotel and a flight and everything for the cost of a flight across Australia. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to Japan. It was only $50.
Jesus, yeah, that would be. I wish it's probably about $1,000, but yeah, maybe 2,000. I'm not sure. My son wants to go there. I will take him one day. But yeah, I feel like there needs to be more. I feel like Anonymous were doing a great job, and they said, "Oh, we won't give up and all of this," and they kind of did. And I'm like, "Come on, let's get it going again. What's going on?" I mean. I talk to people about it and they're like, oh, there's only like 1,600 members in Australia. And I'm like, but they still matter. You know, every single person matters. And if I was in there and I especially if I was a child or whatever, I would want somebody to help me. You know, I'd want somebody to be on the outside there for me. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying
Aaron
to do.
and I and Serge have said that so many times, that the difference between the protests that happened in the 90s, Anonymous and things like that, is that there are troves of people internationally now, like yourself, Ree, you know, Alex in England. There's so many people just all around the world that are smattered around the world. And of course, here in America, that are not only talking about it every day, protesting every day, but like if somebody walked up to you or another protester and was like, please help me. I do want to leave. Like, I don't know where else. I've just seen you. Can you help me? Yeah. Your answer would be?
Call the SBTV Foundation.
But would you help that person? Would you be like, come with me, get in my car? Let's
hell
go.
Yeah. I'd be like, I've got 2 spare bedrooms. You know, if they needed, if someone needed, like they were like there and then, you know, wanted to come and said like, what do I do?
And that's the difference. That's the real difference, is that there weren't anybody for us to turn to, for us to reach out to, or get like community with, or get information from, or just get any sort of like love and camaraderie. Do you know what I mean? Like it just became like so hard. In everything we did it on our own. Now, granted, the internet is a wonderful place, and it is much more prevalent now.
Since 2008, like, you know, since Anonymous, there's more. We've got more power now, I think, and you know, we need to utilize it.
Well, also, there's just so much more information that's out and about. You know what I mean? Like we have over 210 channels now as part of the SPTV Nation internationally, which is fucking brilliant. And to see you out there in Perth and Ree on the other side of Australia, you know, talking about it, telling people about it, you know, but you guys are the only two in Australia. You're the only two with YouTube channels that I know of. I don't want to insult anybody else that's in Australia that's like, hey, I'm also here and I'm telling people about it. Like, that's good. I want there to be more people, because you need help. You need assistance out there. You can't, you know, I mean, it's a silly old Scientology saying that L. Ron said, OT cannot operate alone, but all of these things are better in a group. I do. When I protest, if I'm all by myself, I'm good in the hood. I'm not worried about it, but it is much more fun to be out there with like a group of people and be able to, you know, show Scientology. There are lots of people, but I'm sure they shut down just for you, don't they?
Do you know what? Last time I went there, right, I sat opposite the doors, and they didn't shut the blinds and they didn't shut the doors. They just sort of, I was zooming in on their desk and everything. I know Osa watches my streams because I did go inside the church once to watch. Did you not know about that?
No, you went in. Did you go watch the Dianetics film, or what did they show you?
Oh my God, right. So I have friends and stuff, and like I say, they've been putting leaflets in people's doors, right? So I got someone I know got a leaflet about an event that was happening, right? So I thought, oh, an event, I'll go down there, right? So I'd already been on TikTok and things like that, and just in case they recognised me, I curled all my hair and I put on a Scottish accent, and I went in, and my name was Sheena.
Oh, I love it. I want to hear how you spoke to them. You got to do the rest of the story in Scottish.
Okay, so my name was Sheena, right? And she's actually my evil stepmom. And I don't know. I think I can do it. Right?
It's so good.
So anyway, they bought it hook, line, and sinker. I went in there. I sat there and had a wee chat with them for half an hour. Then I went into a seminar, and by accident, and I swear to God, it was by accident. It was complete accident. I accidentally streamed to YouTube. I got called out of the seminar. I've got to talk
because they saw their seminar on YouTube.
Honestly, I don't know how it happened. I'd never even been live on YouTube, right? But it's so weird. First of all, I was just filming normally on my phone, right?
Right.
And so they called me out of the seminar, and they said, "Oh yeah, you're not allowed to be taking photos and filming." And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't know," because there was actually another lady in there, and she was filming and taking photos and stuff. And then I went back in, and I must have I put it in my pocket, and I must have accidentally, I don't know, pressed stream to somewhere. And this is really, really odd. I got called out again, and they said, "Oh, we have the head of security, and they just want to talk to you. They just want to, go through a few things with you." And they watch all the live streams they watch all the live streams and blah, blah, blah. So and he's on the phone, this guy, and it was the head of OSA in Sydney. Right?
Who's that?
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember his name. I've got it written down somewhere.
Oh my God.
I think I say his name. So on my channel, I do an interview with a lovely lady called Linda, and she's called the Scientology Watcher. And she was actually there with me that day, and another lady called Frio Neverin. Anyway, and I talk about the whole thing on there. And he starts trying to intimidate me. He doesn't even say he goes, "Hello, my name's blah blah blah. I'm the head of the legal department in Sydney.
Yeah.
The Scientology and all this.
Director of Special Affairs." Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you going?" And he's like, "Do you know the law?" And I went, "In regards to what?" And he goes, we have seen you. You've been streaming live on TikTok." And I'm like, "What?" I've never streamed on TikTok, not even to this day. So I was like,
right.
I haven't. And so he started playing this video of mine, which wasn't alive, obviously. Started playing this video down the phone, and he's going, "Oh, well, because this person really sounds like you, and she's sitting there wearing a captain's hat." And I just lost it, mate. I lost it. I was like, "A captain's hat?" I'm pissing myself laughing. And the lady next to me, who worked there, she's like, stone faced and everything. And I'm going, "He's saying I'm someone wearing a captain's hat. Why would they do that?" And all this. It was just so funny. And he was just trying to intimidate me. He said, "Well, we're going to call the police and all of this." And I was like, "Go ahead, mate. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not on TikTok." So I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
And then because my other two friends, they were protesting outside, and they were waiting down in the corner for me. And he goes, "Oh, and what about those clowns down on the corner there like that?" And I went, "Oh, no, they're terrible, aren't they? I walked past them on my way here, They were trying to tell me all this stuff. I just, don't know what they're talking about and all this, And he goes, "Well, maybe they're impersonating you," which doesn't make any sense,
Right.
So I went, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to go out. I'll go out and talk to them and see what's going on." That was my cue to leave. So
right. Yeah. Good for you. Good on you.
It was hilarious. But I was afterwards, I was just like, "Oh my God, they're going to follow me." And I parked my car very far away. And,
good job.
And then I was trying to so my friends went one way and I went the other way. Our cars are parked in different places. And it's, "Oh no, but let's go down the pub and we'll have a chat about it." And then I'm on the way to the pub, and I couldn't get hold of them. They're messaging me, but I had no credit on my phone, and they're getting worried, they didn't know what was happening with me and stuff. So I had to go to I'd run out of credit. I didn't have enough money in that account to top it up and put more credit on. So I had to go to
I'm going to pause you for a second for the American audience. In other countries, guys, they don't have the unlimited plans because we are so gluttonous here in America. Everything's unlimited. You have to pay back when phone companies started here for the bits and bobbles and pieces of your plan in the rest of the civilized world, which I still don't understand. T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, just give the people the things. Let them talk.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
It's really stupid. They don't need to do. As a person who used to work in a telecommunications company, let me just say, they don't need to do that. They are just ripping you off.
No, money grabbers, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had to find a McDonald's, use the free Wi-Fi, transfer money over to another account, get the credit on, and they were like, "Oh my God, where are you? Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm all right." It was just me at the pub and everything, and then we had a little decompress. And
there you go.
I don't normally drink, but I had a double vodka.
Good for you. I don't normally drink, but I had 17 shots. Yeah. I was very stressed.
I was just like, and the police actually turned up, they did ring the police and everything. Why did I go off on that tangent?
Because we were talking about what's going on, and then you had accidentally streamed it, and I was like, I made a face because I didn't know the story, so you told me the story.
But before that, I can't remember what I was saying. I was like, oh yeah, you were saying like I'm shutting it down or something. But yeah, no, I went there again. I went there again a few weeks back, maybe a month or so. I need to go there again.
Are they closing the blinds on you and stuff when you come?
No blind tech.
No blind.
No.
I'm sad. What's going on, Australia?
I know. I was very disappointed.
Disrespectful.
I know, right?
Disrespectful.
So, but what they did do is they called the police on me again. So I'd actually checked with the council, with the Shire, to see. So they have a big verge outside the front, and I checked with the local council to see what the parameters were, to see where I was allowed, because they kept saying it's their verge, and it's not. It's the council verge, right? So I was there with another streamer named she doesn't really stream, but her name's Freya Neverin. We were sitting there, we're having a little picnic. We had a little mini squirrel fest. There was only me and her turned up, and we're having a little picnic outside. And I said, "Oh, let's do a little bit of filming. We'll just walk around the building and that." So we walk over and we go on the verge, and she's like, "Oh, you're not allowed to be here. I'm going to call the police." And I went, "No, actually, no. These are the measurements." And she went, and she phoned the police and everything. And they took a while to turn up. They probably took a good half an hour or something. And then while we were waiting for them to turn up, a Scientologist he'd obviously been out leafleting for the day or whatever, canvassing for the day. And he came over and he started talking to us. So I had a really good conversation with him. He's absolutely bonkers. Sort of,
was he trying to recruit you guys or what?
No, he was doing the whole truth about drugs nonsense.
Blah blah blah. Yeah,
and the anti-psych stuff and everything. And I said, look, a psychiatrist has saved my life, and he's sort of saying, oh well, they tell you that you have no soul. And I'm like, so the next time I went to see my psych, and I said, I asked her, I said, have you ever told anyone that they have no soul? And I recorded it. So if I see him again, I'm going to play the video of my psych saying that.
I love that.
I told him all about Serge's story, and he was saying, well, how do you know it's the truth? And I'm like, mate, and he's going, well, our stable datum and all of this is that what's true for you is true for you. And I was like, it's just a cop out, isn't it? Like, what does that even mean? Oh, because it's not true for me, because it's not in my reality, it didn't happen. Like, are you serious? I don't know. That's
basically how they keep themselves, sane, right? So if it's not true for you, if you didn't see it, then it's not true, right?
Yeah, it's just insane. Like,
well, yeah.
With the truth, is it the truth rundown? That's basically what they get you to do, isn't it? To change what you've seen 100%. They did it to Leah Remini, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where like she's seen all this stuff going on with Tom Cruise being treated differently and stuff, and then they change your reality, hypnotize you into having a different reality, I guess. But yeah, it's just insane. So that was the last time I went down there, and they phoned the police. The police came along and they were like, oh, we can give you a move on order if you cause any trouble. I said, well, I'm not. I'm doing everything legally. I explained about the measurements and everything. And she had lied to them and told them that I was inside the church. So I was like, well, you can get them to show you the footage then, because I wasn't, Right. But yeah, it's just nonsense. So I do need to go down there a bit more, but it's very hard with the little one, he doesn't want to come with me. So
well, that's okay. I mean, if your kids don't want to be involved with it, I got one kid to come with me one time, and he was the 18-year-old. So he was
my
like,
boy's too young. I wouldn't do that.
No. I mean, listen, I don't judge anybody. If the kids there's been kids who are passionate, and they're definitely like, forget Scientology and they want to, go do it. It's all a personal choice between you and your kid. My other kids are like, they're cringed out. by my channel. They're cringed out by me
talking
talking about it. And all of that. No, you're good. And all of that stuff. So it's, you know, I mean, I have like, there's like 5 generations in our house, I think, or something like that. I'm Gen X. My wife is a millennial. She's an exennial, right? It's like that cusp, like you would be like an exennial. It's like the people who are born right at the end of Gen X, but right at the beginning of millennials, and they feel like they don't fit in either. So they made like a micro generation for people born between 1980 and 1985, the exennials. Right.
Crazy stuff.
So it's me, my wife she's a exennial, and then 3 of the kids are Gen Z, and we have, so 4. And then the last one's a Gen Alpha. So it's like,
don't forget about your dog.
Oh, right. The dogs are also Gen Alpha.
Okay. Oh, you got 2 dogs. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, they're both alphas, and it shows because they speak a whole other language that I don't know anything about.
My son does
Riz.
Yeah, my son does all that, and he does an impression of Hubbard. So like,
oh my God, really?
Not like a whole impression. So he does like, you know, like the ruler and movie theater,
the supreme ruler.
But then we were out like driving in the car the other day. We stopped at the traffic lights, and he's like, Land Cruiser. Gold, mate, absolute gold. Yeah,
I love it. So tell us all about this fabulous event that you are putting on. When is it? What time is it? How many people are RSVP'd? Tell us all.
I'm not telling anyone the date. All I am saying is it is in, we're on the 1st of August now, aren't we? So.
Well, for you, yes.
Yeah, we are here. So it's this month. We're in the future, and it will be this month. Yes. It will be in this month.
Where?
In Melbourne.
In Melbourne, okay.
Ascot Vale, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. I just decided a couple of months ago, I was like, not much going on here in Perth. Apparently there's 100 members, but according to an inside source, there's only, it seems like there's 25 members.
Oh, wow.
Like active at any time. So they'll have meetings and they'll get in like 100 for meetings from wherever. I think they might only have like 2 auditors there. Mm-hmm. It's a family-run org as well. Anyway, I'll go off on another tangent. So I just thought not much is going on here. I want to make an impact. I want to like sort of try and get the Aussies together, get it going here, get a voice down under. So sod it, I'm going to go to Melbourne. And I just sort of started mentioning it. And then I was like, I'm just going to try and get some people. And it's actually got like, we've got quite a good crowd now. We've got some
how many approximately have you
got?
Around
sort of 10 to 12 at the moment. There's a few that aren't totally confirmed yet. But yeah, it's going to be the biggest protest against Scientology in Australia for 16 years. So if there's any Aussies there watching, please come and join us. Email me, perthaudit@gmail.com. Let's do it. Let's get a big crowd out there.
Email T, because here's the deal. I know you're going to be there. Ree's going to be there. And the fabulous, badass Miriam will be there.
We've got Miriam Francis coming. We've also got Kirsty, who's in the chat. I'm just checking. We've got Kirsty. We've got Cherokee Joy. She's coming as well. Swedish Lena's coming. We've got quite a few people. Sorry, my memory's crap. So
no, it's all good. Yeah, this is very exciting. If you guys want or have a way to get to Australia, guys, if I had, first of all, my wife already told me that I'm not allowed to go by myself. So if I go to Australia, I'm bringing my wife. Because neither of us have ever been. Neither of us have ever been.
There is a room here with your name on it, mate. Honestly,
yes. Oh my God, I want to go so bad.
Yeah, I'll show you the sites of WA.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, the royal you, the crowd, that, you know, in addition to starting my second channel, I do want to take Oh No Nora on the road and just visit as many orgs as I physically can between now and this time next year. You know, to just like literally make sure that we're taking this as international as possible, because the things that you're saying to me right now are like buzzing in my ear a bit, because when you tell me, and this is the thing that I've been bringing up, but it just tells me that I'm right, which is sad, but also why we need to focus on these things. Because when you tell me that they're doing the truth about drugs and they're getting a couple hundred people in for their you know, their seminars or whatever, what that tells me is that they have businesses like chiropractors, dentists, schools, and things like that in the area, that those people aren't necessarily, hey, I'm a Scientologist, but they're working for a Scientologist, right?
Yeah, the money's going back to the mothership.
Exactly. Yeah. So when they need to fill up a seminar or fill up an event, these businesses are then telling their employees, like, hey, if you don't show up for this thing, this means your job. Which, of course, in this country, in my country, that's illegal. I don't know what the laws are in Australia on.
Since when do they care if it's illegal, though? You know, like
right. I mean, right. They do these things anyway, and people believe it because, you know, people want jobs and they want a good paying job. And if their job is good paying, they're gonna be like, okay, I'll go to this stupid seminar.
Yeah.
You know, for my boss's religion or whatever, and like, you know, fuck it, like I'll just spend that half an hour or whatever in my life so that I don't lose my job. But what that tells me is that, like, my theory, because everywhere Scientology is shrinking, everywhere looks like Perth, Australia right now, right? Like we see it every night on L. Ron Hubbard Way. There's just nobody. No, when I was a kid and when I joined the Sea Org, you couldn't find a parking on L. Ron Hubbard Way. It was just hordes of people walking everywhere, and I know it was the same in Australia.
The Sea Org walking down the street and everything. It was rife, you know, and now it's dead. And I don't know how Miscavige gets away with it. Well, he's hiding it with propaganda, but
first of all, he continues the real estate scam worldwide, which is, hey, we're going to open this ideal org, fundraise the people to death to buy the org, then fundraise to renovate the org. Then when the people finally move in the org, they have to then pay a mortgage back to the international landlord on a building that's been paid for twice.
How are they putting up with that? How can they've paid for it and then they're doing a mortgage as well? I don't get it.
Because no one questions what you're demanded to do by international management, or you are a squirrel, you are an SP. That's just death, right? So they continue that. And then, you know, because all the OTAs have done the whole bridge again, right?
Yeah.
Now they're just going to go back to the beginning. Everybody needs to now become a Dianetics auditor for real, new standard tech on Dianetics, of course. And now they're doing that where they're, you know, got the volunteer ministers out everywhere doing pinch tests like back in the 80s and getting Dianetics out. And that is the scary part, because the one thing that L. Ron was really good at, I don't understand it, just, you know, based on his physical appearance and his cadence of talking.
His choice of suits.
Right. And his suit. I mean, the guy was not, you know, he wasn't Tom Cruise.
Attractive.
No, he was not attractive. He was not attractive, but he was very successful at being confident. He was a confidence man. He walked into that room. He's going to tell you a fact. He's going to figure out what's wrong with you because he was great at cold reading, you know?
Yeah.
And then he would just blow people's minds by figuring out their problems just by listening to them and, you know, talking to them for 5 minutes. And then, you know,
he was a master hypnotist, you know? So
absolutely. Absolutely. So the fact that they're rewinding the clock back to the beginning con and developing more con artists, carny barkers in public, that is scary because let's face it, it's 2024. Raise your hand, put a 1 in the chat if you have no problems. We're not going to see anyone. Because everybody has a problem. Everybody has their quote unquote ruin.
Exactly.
Which Scientology will find and try and, you know, shove down your throat that they are the only ones with a solution for that.
Yeah, and they have courses on absolutely everything.
Cherokee doesn't have any problems. Cherokee.
Oh, that's nice to hear. That's Joy. Joy's coming protesting with us. Yeah, she's great.
Joy, thank you for not having any problems. You are a model.
Joy is so easygoing, man. I don't think she has any problems. I believe her.
Nancy says 9 gajillion.
Yeah. -1. Yeah.
-1. I don't even know what that means, Gerald.
I know, right?
I wish, like, we're sitting here like, I wish I had -1 problems. Like, is there something? Is that celery? It's like negative calories. Now it's just negative problems. What is that?
Ew, celery.
You don't like? Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Your fruits and veg are not your.
Oh no, I love veg. Love veggies, just not celery.
Just not celery.
Yeah.
Why? The crunch, or is it just
it's such a strong taste, isn't it? I'll put it in things like when I make soup and things like that. But yeah, celery by itself, it's
no, not for you.
No.
See, I'm always interested in the tiny things that people will just tell me when we're talking to the internet. It's like, I don't like celery. Like, okay. I mean, that's just you know, I love it. I love it. I love it. These are things, you know, to know about people. Like, make sure I don't send you a bunch of celery or something.
Very important, valuable information. Yeah, crucial. Crucial.
What is this? What is this, Gregory? In computer programming, 1/2's complement is the maximum number possible. I don't know what you just said. That was way too nerdy for me, Gregory, but I love you and thank you for being here.
Gregory's amazing. He lives near the Johannesburg. He lives near the castle in South Africa. I believe it's the castle.
Okay.
I'm hopefully going to have him on. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to have him on at some point. He's got some amazing stories.
I agree. Celery is good in a Bloody Mary. Agreed.
Ooh, Bloody Mary. What is with the Bloody Mary? Why is tomato?
You don't like a Bloody Mary?
Oh no, it's disgusting. Such a strange combination. Yeah, no.
It's a lot. It's basically, it's like somebody was like, I need vegetable juice, but I want some vodka. So.
Oh, hello, Caroline. Sorry, I just saw Caroline's message. It's very sweet. I love you too.
See, everybody is giving you so much love in this chat. Are you crazy, T?
I haven't really looked at the chat. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's okay. Joy doesn't like lettuce. So put your least favorite vegetable in the chat, guys. This is a hot topic. You had a Russian for lunch.
I said I don't like celery.
Is that a white Russian? Is this a drink, or you just are partaking of a person? I don't know what's happening, Gregory. It sounds very naughty. Whatever it is. Everyone's hungry now. Everyone's okra. There's a first. Now, are you from the South? That's a question.
I haven't tried that. It's kind of like, what's it like? Is it like celery?
No. It's like a star-shaped green plant that if you don't cook it right, it tastes like death.
Oh, I love broccoli. I
love broccoli too. And onions, and I like Brussels sprouts also. Blow drill. I'm with you on that, Dylan. Brussels sprouts, when they're properly done,
love them.
Russian. Okay, hang on a second. Gregory says Russian is what South Africans call sausage.
Okay.
We're learning all kinds of things now because, you know, in England that would be bangers.
We call them snags in Australia.
That's right. There you go. Lima beans and peas. Oh, well, who said lima beans and peas? I like lima beans and peas. I have a snag on a muffin for lunch. Okay. Muffins are good.
Yum.
I got 99 problems, but Melbourne Scientology org has a bigger one with us coming and protesting.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Turnip.
I'm so excited.
Good. I got to get some turnips. Thank you for reminding me.
Turnips are good if you're doing the keto diet. You can roast them like potatoes, and they're kind of like roast potatoes a bit.
Yeah. No. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I haven't had an artichoke in forever, except my wife and I went out for date night to the restaurant that we had our very first date at. And we decided to split this chicken dish that had chicken and veg, but then we got the appetizer of this roasted artichoke that was like dipped in, it was like roasted in this butter sauce, and then it had a dipping thing too. So we each got, like, they cut it in half, so we each got a half.
Yum.
It was so good. I haven't had an artichoke in forever.
You have to get the recipe and do it on your like food thing.
Right. Oh, yes.
Something Southern like that.
Fried okra is amazing. This is true. But also everything from the South is fried in bacon fat. So it's automatically good. It's you could fry my hair in that bacon fat. It would probably taste good. Like almost all vegetables, but not radishes.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like radishes. No, I don't like radishes.
Oh, I put them in my salad. It's so good. Oh, who's making ceviche? Pinche Becky. Ooh, cilantro.
Ceviche. I don't know.
How do you not have it with cilantro? That's just crazy.
Cilantro,
White Russian is a great future drink. Yes.
No, cilantro is what do we call it?
It's like a little herb. It's like a little leafy herb.
But we don't call it cilantro. We call it
what do you call it?
Oh my god, it's gone totally out of my head. Not oregano. It's what's
Parsley?
it called? No, you put it in curries and stuff. It's far out. I used to use a lot of it. I can't remember. It's gone out of my head.
What is fufu?
Coriander, that's it. Coriander.
Coriander. Okay. Yeah. What is fufu?
Fufu. Ooh, that sounds
I don't
ominous.
know what fufu is. I'm gonna have to Google that. I love peas. My mother-in-law hates peas. So like Thanksgiving, I make peas just for myself, and she just looks at me like,
how dare you?
Lima beans. People hate on lima beans. They are good. You just like my mom won't eat Brussels sprouts because her mom, my grandmother, would like, she boiled everything within an inch of its life. So her whole life was just like mush, disgusting, no seasoning.
Like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, but they're good. Liver, Nancy. Liver is not a vegetable. Yeah, right? That is not a vegetable. My goodness. Coriander. Everybody was shouting it out for you here.
That was it. Coriander. Yeah. I just totally, you know, when you got to think of something and then it just goes.
This is very true, Indigo Twin. There is an enzyme that makes cilantro taste like soap. I did the 23andMe forever ago. And that is a gene that, like, if you either like cilantro or it tastes like soap.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like soap to me. I love it.
No, I love it.
When I make a curry, I put loads in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's here now talking about the cilantro. Yes. Thank you, Pinche Becky. So lima greens are delicious if they're cooked correctly.
I've never tried them.
Gregory, where are you? Are you in Russia?
No, he's in South Africa.
Oh, you're in South Africa. All right. So coriander is called Dania.
Interesting. Cool.
Okay.
I love learning about different countries. Absolutely love it. Different cultures.
Gregory, which part of South Africa are you in? I only know how to say terribly awful swears in Afrikaans. I apologize. I will not. I was on the RPA with some South African people, and I wanted to learn. I love learning to swear in other languages, like calling somebody.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
Dag. What a dagwood, you know.
I know something quite rude in Portuguese.
Oh.
Vai mamar. Oh no, hang on, that's a nice one. No, it isn't. Vai mamar na quinta pata do cavalo. Means go suck on a horse's fifth foot. Or go suck on a horse's fifth leg.
Wow. Well, like in Afrikaans, you don't say like "fuck you." You say, you know, "Yoma buck for rhinoceros," which means your mom bends for rhinoceroses. Or my favorite one, "Yoma skot my honkling held," which means your mom owes my dog change.
Your honkling held. That sounds awesome. I love it.
But it's like so guttural. I mean, it's the same thing. I had a friend from China, and like again, you don't say like a swear, right? Just like we in America and the English language is just fuck, right? Just all the fucks. But in like these other languages, it's so poetic to give someone like the, you know, the bird, the poetic bird. And like in China, it's like you are the dung of a tick on a rat in the sewer. Like, you know, it's just like
definitely poetic.
It's so visual too, you know, like, oh, that stings.
Has more impact, doesn't it? Definitely.
Oh, it 100%. It 100% does. But see, like in Scientology, you can't. We were talking about this the other day. I was talking about it with Eric Ritter. You don't say like to your friends. You don't say like, "Oh man, I love you," right? You don't. He said his parents never told him they loved him. Yeah, like his parents would make him call them by their first names. My dad tried that with me. I was like, "Go fuck yourself. I'm not, your name is Dad. Get over it." But it's this big separation of like you cannot show affection and love because it's just like down tone, and you cannot also at the same time show anger because that's also down tone, right? So you're just stuck in this little window of like trying to be like, yay, everything is great, you know, and just like take
happy
whatever
robot,
punishment.
Basically, yeah, happy robot.
Yeah, a happy robot. Yeah, that's a good description. That's a good description. Now, you didn't grow up with Scientology. Did you grow up with anything fun? Any other cult adjacent religions?
Not in a cult, but my entire family, including one of my sisters, only one of my siblings, are in like this spiritual group. So my name was chosen by the leader.
Oh,
and
fun.
Stuff like, yeah, and they do like this weird.
And this is in Scotland?
It's worldwide.
What's the name of it?
I'm not sure I want to say because if OSA wanted to find me, they could look me up because my real name My real name is actually a very unique name that no one would be able to guess. So,
well, you don't have to tell me your real name. I just wanted to know the name of the group.
Yeah, but I don't know
because
talk
about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Tell me later. That's a cult.
But it wasn't a cult. Any religion can join.
It's a cult.
It's no, it wasn't. If any of my family are watching, they'd be very offended. But you don't. No, they would. They would actually
anytime you want.
Yeah. absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You have
can
to
go
tie
when you
a
want.
portion of your money to the people's.
No.
They're just flamboyant.
Oh, they're just like it's more like a meditation kind of group. But you can do these not rituals, but like things where you can. Oh, so embarrassing and cringy. Sorry. I just think I'm so skeptical of everything. It just sounds like a load of bollocks to me. Do you know what I mean? But good on them, whatever. They can do this. I don't want to say the procedures either because then that would reveal who it is. But you can open yourself up to receive messages from God and all of this stuff from your God. Any religion can join. You don't have to pay money. You can have a name, whatever it's called, name chosen for you if you wish. You're not obliged to do it. So,
I see.
Yeah, so it's just like a spiritual group thing. But that's as near as cult I've gotten to. But yeah, I've just always
a fun cult.
A what?
I said that's a fun cult.
Yeah, well, it's weird, but yeah, I spent a lot of time as a child.
The number one thing about cults is they don't like to be called cults. If that's a dirty word to the group, it's a cult. No offense to T's parents. I love you. Please come see me. We'll talk about it. You can meditate anytime you want. You don't have to follow the guy with the cape or whatever and the crown. I don't know what he's wearing. I'm joking.
You really don't. And it's
I mean, I meditate all the time because it helps me to quiet my brain. Like I need help to quiet. I believe in mindfulness and in meditation 100% because I feel like getting in tune with your breath, getting your body to settle a bit, that is it's invaluable, especially in today's world where it's like, hi, how many phones, how many screens, how many things, it's just,
I need to do some of that. I haven't done it for a while, so but yeah, going out in nature and stuff.
No, I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful to be in tune with the world. And by that I mean not mean like the news, because news is always awful.
I don't even watch TV.
I mean, I'm watching the Olympics right now because I love me, the Princess of America and Captain of the World, Simone Biles. She is a superhuman, and we should all just turn over all decisions to her, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is.
Simone Biles? You don't know who Simone Biles is?
Nope. Sorry.
We are still besties, but you gotta just do yourself a favor, go on YouTube, type in Simone Biles and just watch her gymnastics because it is a spiritual experience.
Gymnastics is pretty cool.
She is magic. It's like, you know who Michael Phelps is, the American swimmer who won like 10 million gold thing. Okay.
No, I'm so not into sports at all. I never have been.
You don't even watch Aussie Rules football?
No. No.
I love Aussie Rules football.
No. You're a sporty person.
I am Sporty Spice. I should have known I was gay my whole life. I was Sporty Spice, and she's gay too. But Aussie guys, for the non-Australians out there, okay, and non-New Zealanders, do yourself a favor and Google Aussie Rules football. It is a combination of rugby, soccer, and American football. They had the perfect baby, and it's men with big asses and huge thighs that are just running nonstop.
Tiny shorts, I must admit.
Yeah, tiny shorts. Ladies, if you are straight and you have not seen Australian Rules football, do yourself a favor. Also, they have women's, which, by the way, if you're the gay, go watch the ladies.
I'm not down with it because they call
the ladies rugby. Oh my God. Everyone is like, everyone's turning gay for the ladies rugby teams in the Olympics right now. I can tell you that.
As a British person, right? They call it football. Nah, it's not,
because I told you it's a thing together, Okay. Well, here's a show for you to watch then. If you want to just watch straight football, real football for you. Okay. For the Americans out here, that's soccer. Okay. But football for the rest of the world. Okay. Watch Welcome to Wrexham. If you've not seen this show, this is Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought the Welsh team Wrexham. Okay. And they have the oldest football stadium on the planet, the oldest football club, and what they have done by buying this team and investing not just in the team and like getting fancy players and new kits and like all this stuff, they have revived this whole town, which was like a mining town. It'd been like, you know, I mean, just poverty hit it again and again and again, mining accidents, all this terrible stuff.
Coal mining,
yeah, it is so beautiful to watch what's happened to all the people. It is so great.
I do love actual football, what I call football, you know, and I did used to follow it when I was younger. You know, I like Man United, and I loved it when Beckham was there and everything. I was right into it there. And then obviously growing up in Glasgow, they're huge. It's
huge.
It's literally, well, it's religious, isn't it? You know, it's Catholics and Protestants. So I used to be into it then. I had a crush on Ali McCoist from Rangers, and he used to actually sometimes practice in the cricket field across the road from my school, and all the girls would be up at the window, and so I was into it. I was into it when I was younger, but and the World Cup in England, you know, it was just amazing going down the pub, you know, watching the footy and stuff. But since I've moved to Australia, you know, you don't really get it here, and I know everyone's into the Aussie rules and stuff, but it's just, I don't know, I just find it really hard to follow. And they're always changing the rules.
They never stop, and they're trying to kick it through the uprights. That's it. That's all you got to know. It's the same rules as rugby, where they can pass it backwards or they can kick it forward, and then they do that dribble thing when they're running, because every 3 steps they have to dribble. Which it's like a whole it's like basketball got involved in footy somehow, and you're like, what is happening? One guy one day was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna dribble this huge ass rugby ball. Like, that's gonna be awesome on the field, on the pitch. But no, the Welcome to Wrexham, I'm telling you right now, is it's making America fall in love with football, with footy. Because we have our women's team, which has won gold, won the World Cup multiple times. Our men's team has never made it past the quarterfinals ever in the World Cup in the 120-year history of the men's team. They made a women's team in the 90s. We did it within 2 years. Okay.
Good ladies.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No. So football is starting to get bigger, especially women's football here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the like original gold medalists, World Cup winners have now all started like forming teams. Like Abby Wambach made the LA team and stuff. So yeah, I would say that football is having a worldwide resurgence. I mean, I know the World Cup is always enormous. It's always, it's like equivalent to the Olympics in terms of people's interest in, you know, like what's happening there. But yeah, I guess Australia's soccer team is just like, they don't care.
Yeah. It's all about that AFL here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I have to tell you something.
Okay, sorry. Let's see it. Bring it up. Bring it up.
So at the protest, we're still in the process of trying to find out what we're allowed to do. Like, are we allowed to, because it's very different over here. You're not allowed, there's no free speech. So, and you have defamation laws and everything, obviously. So I'm trying to find out whether, you know, what wording am I allowed to put on the signs? So can I put Scientology as a cult, or do I have to put it's a cult? You know?
Right, because you guys have very strict rules in Australia about like what we consider the First Amendment here in America and what you can and can't say, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if we're allowed to do, I think so chalk art you're allowed to do because it's soluble, but there was some people that were protesting, the environmental protesting and stuff, but they were protesting a lot and they were starting to annoy the government. They did chalk art all over a bridge in Perth and they got fined 20 grand. So I'm a bit like, you know, so I'm just waiting for confirmation, but the local police station doesn't answer the phone. And yeah, so I have to go to a lawyer or whatever. But just in case I'm allowed to use a megaphone, I have a megaphone, right? And it does pre-recorded messages. So I recorded a message. It's not going to work now. Hang on.
Go for it.
You ready?
Yes.
Oh, please.
Gentle, keep your TRs in.
It's Hubbard.
Be gentle, keep your TRs in.
So I thought, you know, if any of the church members come out and they start getting a bit rowdy, be gentle, keep your TRs in. We'll get Hubbard to remind them, you know.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna pull up. I just did a quick Google search here because I wanted to see what the rules are there. So this is what the AI overview says. Australia has an implied right to protest, but the rules vary state by state.
Yeah.
And it must be balanced with the rights of others. The Constitution guarantees freedom of political expression, but not the right to protest. Some examples of protest rules in Australia include permits. Some places like Melbourne and Canberra don't require permits for public protests, but others may require them to regulate competing uses of space and ensure protesters follow time, place, and manner restrictions. Permits can also protect protesters from certain criminal charges. Notification. Councils often recommend or require that local police be notified of large protests. Unacceptable behavior. Some behaviors that are considered unacceptable at protests include harming others, damaging property, carrying knives or flares, wearing a disguise. So if people were going to show up in masks, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, they're not allowed to do that, yeah.
Yeah, obstructing emergency workers and using threatening or offensive language. See, like in America, we can say whatever we want.
Yeah, I can't believe it. People go up in someone's face and say F you, and yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, we don't have manners laws here. Guidelines. Some organizations like the National Capacity Authority have guidelines for protests and demonstrations that aim to improve public safety, protect Parliament, that's the government there, guys, and ensure equal access to public areas. Police interactions. In some circumstances, protesters may be legally required to provide their name and address to police, but they have the right to remain silent to further questions. Police may also seize phones if they suspect they've been used to commit a crime or contain evidence of a crime, but they can't access passcodes without a warrant. Fines. If a court finds a protester, it must consider their personal circumstances and ability to pay. Protesters may be able to pay in installments or work off the fine through community service. In recent years, some governments have introduced anti-protest laws that have targeted specific types of protests, such as those at forestry sites or those related to environmental issues or climate change.
Yeah, that was the environmentalists. Like I say, they started to annoy the government. But Swedish Lena is very kindly going to traveling an hour and a half to go to the police station in the area of the org to just go in and actually talk to someone and find out. Because so you've done the AI search there, which I didn't think to do actually, which is very good. But it still doesn't, it's finding out the specifics of what wording you're allowed to use. I don't want anyone to get into trouble. You're not going to get arrested there on the spot for it. But you know what Scientology are like? They could, try and sue us for defamation,
Well, the only way I would think that you would get around that, okay, and here's my recommendation, because this is something that I want to start doing when I go to other places that aren't orgs. Simply bring with you a Scientology book, Dianetics, highly recommend, and then just read aloud like the outrageous portions about, like, a 7-year-old not wanting a kiss. Do that, because what are they gonna come after you for? That's their religious text.
And this is what I'm doing.
Available anywhere. It's available anywhere. It's not like you're reading OT3, because that's confidential. I wouldn't recommend doing that, because then they could come after you.
Really? That messes up one of my plans.
I know. But see, this is here's the thing on that, because,
it's disrespectful to their religion.
You are true. Defamation is only if you say something false. But you have to remember that Scientology is the most litigious organization on the planet. So if you leave the clear cog out of it, and you leave any other confidential information out of it, and you simply get quotes from their basic books, which are bonker doodles, and start reading those aloud or chalking that on the sidewalk, what are they going to say? They're going to be like, well, that's a quote from the book. So if you can, there are plenty of outrageous quotes there that you can use. So if the police roll up, you just say, hey, we're just talking about their religious stuff here. This is quotes from L. Ron Hubbard, and this is why we think they should be closed down. But you never know, because like when they called the police on me in Portland, they came up to me and they're like, what's up? And I was like, oh, I'm protesting, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they went in there and talked to them for 20 minutes trying to get me arrested. And the guy came out so agitated. Right. And it was like, well, is there anything else you need, ma'am? And I was like, well, actually, and I tried to start telling him all this stuff. He's like, ma'am, I can't comment. I've seen all of the documentaries.
Like, I don't give a shit.
I just need something. I was like, no, I don't need anything. Thank you for being nice.
Yeah, Yeah, yeah. It's like the police here when they came out to me. They were like, "Oh, you know, she said you were inside the church." I said, "Well, I wasn't," and they're just sort of rolling their eyes, and they didn't really care. And they, you know, they haven't. There's not really any trouble from them over here because no one's speaking up, you know. And I said, what I said to the policeman, I said, "What do you know about Scientology?" He said, "I don't know anything." And I said, well, "Don't you think you should?" You know. And he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you know, maybe I was a bit rude saying that, but I think that training of police in globally, they need to be trained on cults and how to deal with it, and human trafficking as well. Because one of the ways I got one of the ways I actually got into down this rabbit hole, I've always had a massive interest in cults and everything, but I was actually advocating and spreading awareness of human trafficking before I came here. And I used to work as a flight attendant. And there's actually a program that needs to be spread around all the airlines. I can't remember what it's called now because it was a few years ago, where they actually put it into the training of flight attendants, how to recognize the signs of children that are being trafficked and stuff, you know. And quite a lot of children are rescued like that because, you know, there's loads of signs to look out for. Like, is the child a different race to the couple that are weird? Does it look distressed? Is there bruises on them and stuff like that? And ways to sort of sneak them. I don't know, there's this one lady who rescued a girl. She sort of sneaked a note into the toilet and the girl read it and she's like nodding and, you know, and saved her life, you know. So I think awareness with police and, you know, all authorities, they don't seem to know enough about cults here or give a crap. And like, you know, there's people, but like I said before, every person matters. That's how I feel about it anyway. And the police are there to what? Serve and protect. They're supposed to protect people, every person. So
exactly.
I think they should know about it. They should. And if I was more kind of organized and stuff like that, I would love to put together some sort of, I don't know, it's not to me to provide a training package to the police, but advocate, try and get that to happen. You know,
listen, your voice is valuable. Your experience as a flight attendant and the training that you received there is perfect to transition over to your law enforcement friends, the people whose your taxes are paying their salary, and be like, hey, you know, I dealt with this in the airlines, and this is something that's happening right now in these buildings. Right. There's children being trafficked. There's people from other countries being trafficked here to work here who don't have access to their passports. And, you know, and that's obviously against the law also in Australia. I mean, I don't know one country that's like, oh, human trafficking, bring it on down. Like, you know, so, you know, it's important, like, to give that information out confidently, because Scientology gives all their information out completely confidently. They're just like, oh, we got the handle for drugs. We got we got study problems handled. We got the mind handled, you know, and then people are just like, okay, well, thanks for taking that off our plate because fuck it. Like,
well, they've shut down all the narcanons in Australia. They're not having it here either. And I actually put a video up recently of me speaking to them in the church about it and how she's going, oh yeah, we definitely have a narcanon in Australia. They're not even in the loop. The church members don't even know what's going on in their own organization.
They wouldn't be, because if they found out all the narcanons got shut down, then they would be like, we're next. They would start freaking out. So they cannot tell them. They cannot let them know that that's what's happening. They all think that there's millions of members walking into Scientology every day around the world. That they're the fastest growing religion on the planet.
Yeah.
They're not going to find, you don't ever find out the bad news. Never.
Well, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm getting a massive sign made with a big picture of, you know, the picture of David Miscavige with, he's standing at the desk and he's looking kind of evil.
The one where he's like leaning. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've got that, but with a big pile of money in front of him. And it says at the top, like, you know, your church, something like basically your leader has got multiple lawsuits out against him. And then I'm going to have the actual lawsuits, which you can get online, like all the charges, everything printed out.
Good.
And like put in Polly Pockets to hand out, like, well, these are the, you know, like receipts, you know, this is what's going on within your own church, you know, so things like that. I was going to print out all the OT materials, and but if you think that I shouldn't do that,
I think here's my, and this is my own personal thought, and you can take it for whatever it's worth. There's a reason why when people protest in any org, you will always see the same type of person who comes out to wash off the chalk and do all this stuff. And that's the person who's been in Scientology for 50 plus years, who's finally made it to OT. And so they are safe to be around the protesters, because protesters in general are talking about Xenu and they're asking giving the clear cog and stuff, right? So it has to be somebody who has attained both these things, because Scientologists, and I believe this myself with my whole heart and soul, that if you know these things, right, or if you hear them, even if you just hear them, before you are ready to absorb that information because you're not at that level, you will get pneumonia and die.
Yeah.
So they are literally trying to protect the people inside from death by not letting them come near you, while they go out the back door and the side doors and stuff. So it's not, I mean, it's not like you're going to reach somebody differently because you don't.
It would make us look evil, like extra evil SPs. Yeah, okay.
I mean, if I had heard people scream about Xenu and all this stuff, I'd be like, who the fuck is Xenu? Like, these people are wild. Like, what the fuck
something
is that?
like 5%. I think 5% of Scientologists actually know who Xenu is.
Right.
Okay, so what about another idea? I've been talking to quite a few people, a few ex-Scientologists and stuff, of just mentioning their tech. So things, actually, Aaron was saying about it yesterday, but for example, the AEIOU tone scale like video. I'd love to get that video. I'd love to reenact it, you know, like get like different people and different outfits and stuff like that, and reenact it. But just replying to them in AEIOU, you know, something like that, because it if you mention their tech, it devalues it to them, and they're like, well, how do you know about this? Yeah, how do you know? So
like when you see them just yawning. They're just pretending to yawn. They were doing that for a while, and just be like, flunk. That's not boredom. Just tell them whatever they're doing. Just tell them flunk.
Yeah.
LTR 0. It will drive them nuts. It will drive them nuts. You're not being here comfortably. Flunk.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And once they, I mean, maybe that will plant a seed. Like, how does everyone know about this? It's not as sacred as we think it is. And maybe they'll start looking into things. I don't know.
Just be like, hey, listen. Ask them, how much money have you spent in Scientology? They probably won't answer you. Be like, okay, if it's more than $50,000, guess what? I know everything you know for free on YouTube. So think about that. Like, why is all this out here and you had to pay all that money and they're telling you that they're the only ones with it? Like, if you like what you like, it's right there. It's for free. Save your money.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the guy I spoke to outside Perth Org, he'd been in, I don't think he had any money, bless him. He'd been in for 35 years and he hadn't got clear. Is that normal?
That can be, and that's super sad.
And he was like, you know, because I realized quickly that asking someone whereabouts they are on the bridge is actually really, really rude.
Yes.
I didn't know. So
that's like asking, are you in menopause?
Yeah, well, I'm an open book, mate. I don't care. I'm an oversharer, but yeah, no, it's seen as rude. So I've learned that. But bless him, I felt really sorry for him. I thought, oh gosh, you know, he's obviously dedicating his weekends going around, because this was on a Saturday, or I think it was a Sunday, 5 o'clock. He'd obviously been coming back from walking around all day. Told me about these suburbs that he'd been, you know, going knocking on people's doors and trying to educate them about the truth about drugs. And people are thinking, like, bugger off, you know, like it's nothing that we haven't learned in high school, you know. And in fact, factually incorrect, as Jeff from PTS for Life, he showed on his channel. He did a thing where he went through it, and it's all incorrect, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh no, 100%.
You know, and he's dedicating his life. It's very, very sad, and the main objective is to sort of save the children, try and get them out or stop them from going in. But I also really, really feel for the adults that have been brainwashed. I feel like everyone matters, and not just the kids, you know. And I agree
with you.
So evil.
Well, this is why my focus isn't just on the physical orgs. They are important because they are like a gathering place for Scientologists. But the real problem, and I was just having this discussion with a friend of mine, is that like Scientology is like the Hydra, right? So like, let's say everybody's emphasizing the kids situation, which is a situation. I'm not downplaying that. Okay. But let's say because of Surge speaking out constantly and all the protests and kids can't consent and all this stuff. Let's say Dave Miscavige is like exactly like he was in the 90s when he closed the cadet org, because it was because of flaps with kids in the cadet org. So let's say he goes, okay, this is a flap now internationally. We're got to get rid of all of these kids. We're just throwing them out. I don't care if they're married. I don't care what. We're getting rid of all the minors. Every minor across the world has to go. So let's say we solve the kids problem. Scientology will still be there. Scientology will still be operating. Even if they threw every single kid out on their ass on the street right now, which is exactly would be their solution, because they did that in the 90s and in the early 80s twice when they canceled the cadet org twice. But there's still so many other problems that keep Scientology propped up, right? So you have the real estate scam, you have the front groups, you have
so many front groups,
and the front groups are really the real problem, because that is how they sneakily
filter money, There's an elaborate network of front groups, especially in Australia. Well, worldwide, filtering money back to the mothership,
Right. And all of these things need to be like attacked at one time. You can't, one of them isn't going to cancel Scientology and get Scientology off the map. I mean, these lawsuits are also extremely important. All of them that are out there right now, Leah's lawsuit, Valeska's lawsuit, the Jane Doe's lawsuit, all of these things need to definitely have momentum and support and be being pushed forward no matter what. And, what Miriam's trying to accomplish there in Australia as well. So, all of these things need our attention and our support, because it's not, unfortunately, it's not a singular thing that's going to get them shut down. But I do want to get to our chats here. There's so many chats for you.
Yes,
and everybody
I would love to,
All right, Ree's in the house. Hey, girl.
Whoop, whoop. Hey, girl.
Cleared
She's
for
going
free.
for a shot. She's going for a shot later on today.
I know. Go Ree.
So excited.
Comment something about 60 Minutes Australia. They really hit Scientology with a lot of coverage. Yes, they've done the best coverage worldwide, besides the German news network when they were here in the 90s. Those two is just like a 1-2 punch. Jem's Journey.
They haven't put anything out for a few years now, though. So
I know.
It's because we had a senator here, Nick Xenophon. And he was really fighting for the shutdown, or inquiry, another inquiry. And he had to step down because he had a brain tumor. So I know. I just wish someone else would fight like that over here.
I know. Well, we need that. We need the people who are brave enough to take on that fight.
Like, we're not launching an inquiry. We're not launching an inquiry because it's seen as attacking a religion. Like, get out of town. You know?
Right. Jem's Journey says maybe they could concentrate on the outback and clear that. Use their minds to break the drought. There you go. Hey, that would be useful. We'll take it.
There are actually people in what state was it? Probably all the states. They're going out into little outback towns on bikes. They're going on bike rides. They're going on big drives and everything, and they're doing the bloody truth about drugs crap in outback towns. Yeah.
See, guys, they're already out there. Marquita Darby. Are there any big hubs in Canada? There used to be in Vancouver and Toronto and in Quebec. Those were the three big places.
Ontario?
There was in Ontario. That's where the Continental Liaison Office was, I believe. So,
sorry, I know loads of random information.
There you go. No, came to Oz from Zimbabwe. In Africa, got bullied about my accent too. I got rid of it purposely. I'm sorry to hear that, Freebird. I had a very good friend from Zimbabwe, Welto Muteze, and I loved his accent. He had the best stories.
Yeah, I love it.
The best stories.
They actually have two churches in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
I think, or I don't know if they're like missions or orgs or whatever. But
we trained with people from Zimbabwe.
Isn't that gross when he got chucked out? He got chucked out of Zimbabwe.
When it was Rhodesia. Yeah. That's where he got chucked out of. Yeah.
It's crazy. And they're like, we're coming back. We're having an org, and we're not just having one, we're having two. Just like, screw you.
No. They're going to try again to take it over. I was not having a go at T's accent. I was only explaining her accent to those who said they loved it. I love it. All right.
It needs explaining. To be fair, it does need explaining. It's a bit.
It's lovely.
It's pommy with an Aussie twang.
I think you should just go back to your roots and go full Scottish. Just let it all out.
I'd love to, mate. I would love to. I'm very proud Scot.
That's good. I've got a wee bit of Scottish in me, just a wee bit. Yeah. So,
Did you have your Scottish off? Did you have your Scottish off with?
I did a teeny bit with Dave. We
didn't
do a full thing because we were so in depth, and like he made me do a session with him of word clearing. So
I know. I started watching it, and I'm really sorry, but it's so boring.
Oh,
it's clearing. I'm sorry.
Wow.
No, I'm not insulting you, but I mean,
no,
I just
okay.
don't know
I'm
how
not insulted.
I don't know how people sit through these things and it's so mind numbing.
Hours,
like,
thousands
I don't know how
hours.
you did it, Nora. I don't know how you are still here, like mentally after doing that. It's just,
I'm still recovering, my friend. I'm still recovering.
Insanely boring. Like,
yeah, no, it is. I mean, helping someone else use the dictionary when you're like, you should be doing this yourself. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, would you say that it affects people's critical thinking just a tad?
Oh, yeah. 100%, because you doubt all the time. Did I know that word? Did I not know that word? You have to look it up anyway, you know.
Yeah. It's soul
I drank
destroying.
this whole thing of water, guys. I'm proud of myself. Okay. Gems churning. People don't realize that Australia is bigger than the continent. Guys, the United States maps are liars, okay? If you look at a map of the globe, it makes America, specifically America, not just North America, but America, look unusually large. Okay, this is I'm going to be gross here for a minute, but it is like an angled penis pic being sent on Snapchat to the rest of the world. It is lies. It's not that big. Like on some maps, we look bigger than Canada. Like, are you joking? Fucking Canada takes up a huge portion of the Arctic.
Africa's made smaller.
The continent of Africa is enormous, y'all.
Yeah, and it's made smaller on maps. Yeah.
It can fit like everything inside of it. And then we're just like, Africa, America.
Yeah,
like
significant. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
It's bad. It's just racism.
Yeah.
Remember, Oz was first settled by prisoners. I lived there, and the people are fiercely independent. Well, technically, Jem, they were sent there, just like the South Africans. The white countries were like, you can't be with us. Go be with the savages in these other countries. And turns out those countries ended up being better. So Aussies are amazing.
I'm not going to talk about that because I'm very passionate about the First Nations people and
First Nation people of Australia are amazing. I've seen so many specials now. Another American who did a great special about another country is Zac Efron. He has this show on Netflix, and he got quarantined in Australia during COVID. So he decided to do the second season of his show about Australia. And the thing that they did during this,
I'll have to look at that as well. I need to write down these things you're telling me to watch.
Down to earth with Zac Efron. Okay. The second season is so wonderful because everywhere they go in Australia, okay, there's a disclaimer at the beginning of each show that just basically says, we want to acknowledge the Aboriginal people, and they get permission to go on the lands and get blessed by the leaders and stuff before they go, which I thought, okay, like
not always, but yeah.
I'm saying in the show they did.
Okay, yeah. Oh, right.
No, people just traipse around wherever they want and are just like blah blah blah. Like you can't be respectful. Be respectful. There's also a great movie. I'm gonna find it. It is about
trying to remember the other one, Wrexham something.
Oh, Welcome to Wrexham.
Welcome to Wrexham. I'm writing these things down. I've got the rest. I should have the rest of the day off. I should go down to the org, but by the time I get there, I do need to go down there more. Oh no, I can't. I'm taking my son to therapy. I totally forgot.
You should watch also one of the greatest movies of all time, where this is where I learned about Aboriginals in Australia, is called The Sapphires. The Sapphires is a true story about these women who were basically made into a singing group to go sing for Vietnam soldiers in Vietnam, and their whole story of what happened to them when they were growing up. This is history. I'm not Australian. So forgive me for not knowing the racist history of every country on the planet, but it was so heartbreaking and just wonderful also to learn so much during that movie. And then of course, great music in the movie and everything else. And the actresses are phenomenal. They're amazing. So if you've never seen The Sapphires, y'all, please go see that if you want to learn a teeny tiny bit about Australia's history. With its
Another good
Aboriginals.
one, if you want to learn about the stolen generation, which was just absolutely shocking, is Rabbit Proof Fence.
Yes,
that's a really good one.
Yes,
yeah,
it's no, 100%. It's Well,
we talk about it a little bit. Me and Ree actually talked about it a little bit. We did a live about generational trauma after we watched your show. We were sort of inspired to do it, because you were talking about the Indigenous. I think it was Canadian. Was it Canadians or I don't know? You were talking about Indigenous in America, actually. I think. And we were just like, we need to get it out there about the First Nations here and stuff. So it's I didn't even know there was. I sound so ignorant. I hate it. Isn't it horrible when you learn, like, why didn't I know this? Because it's not taught at school enough.
No, we don't teach that here in America. Are you joking?
Yeah,
we teach about cowboys and Indians, and people went west and they just conquered the Wild West. And it's like, bro, it wasn't a Wild West. There was just people living there who existed for thousands of years just fine without you taking their land. We're always, it's what I have to say, and it's always funny to me to think this, but like, I wish more countries would do the German model. Germany owns its horrific history, at least that portion of its horrific history, about the Holocaust and everything else. They teach that in kindergarten. They teach it all throughout school. There's monuments everywhere in Germany. It's not hidden, they did that on purpose because they didn't want that history to repeat itself. And I see that, like, in so many other colonized places, that they just don't own up to their history. They don't acknowledge the Indigenous or First Peoples. And even now in the year 2024, we're still seeing grotesque stereotypical representation being allowed in public places about things like that. But then you see awesome things like, Flowers of the, now I can't think of the movie that won the Oscar, but Flowers of the Something Moon, and now it's eluding me, but that's a great representation of American Indigenous culture. And the woman who got the Academy Award for that is also in another film, Fancy Dance, right now on Apple TV Plus. So I'm loving that you have like you have Res Dogs, which is like showing like teenage res life here in America, and things where it's just like all these things are starting to become mainstream as they should, And I think it's great.
The British Empire, I think, took over about, I don't know if it was 70% of the world or something, or probably more, And it was normal back then. And it's like, well, that was back then, There was a lot of ignorance and racism and all sorts of stuff back then, but it doesn't mean that they should get away with it and that it wasn't wrong, No. So I really
for you, England. No, I'm just kidding.
Why do you think I moved out? No, I'm still under the Commonwealth. There's some Aussies trying to fight to get out of the Commonwealth. They want to be do it.
You guys are a big country. You don't need the Queen. Who needs the Queen? Listen, God love the Queen, but like, who needs her right now? You know what I mean? She's dead, and like, okay,
she's gone, Nora.
I know, but she was, like, she was the Queen. Like, let's give it up.
I've never been into the royal family. I'm not,
You know what I mean? She wasn't just like a sit on your ass queen. She fucking was doing shit in World War II. Like when she was 17, like, you go, girl. She did her shit, Is she was she, like doing all kinds of other stuff? I'm sure. But mostly it's
she dedicated her entire life. Well, not her entire life, but she dedicated her life. Like that. Yeah. When you're the Queen, you don't have your own life,
No, she gave her life to England, and she did a fair job. R.I.P. to the Queen. All right, we'll get off of the Queen's ass now. All right, so okay, the parasocial audience. Scientology is one of very few cults that didn't degenerate into a sex cult. Correct. I said the other day that like if Scientology had the sexy aspect where it was a sex cult, it would have already been shut down. But we have the opposite in Scientology. It's very puritanical, and like, sex is bad, sex is pain. Literally, sex is pain. So it's like I think that's why. Yeah, the HCOB, the policy is called pain and sex.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's you're not supposed to like want sex or desire
Are you
it
just
or enjoy
supposed to
it.
do it to procreate? Or?
Exactly. That's it.
Oh, okay. I never knew that about Scientology. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it sucks. It's the unsexy cult. This is only my third YouTube comment ever. Nora, you are brave, strong, smart, beautiful, hysterical, and more. Your hilarious breath of fresh air, peace and love and respect to you and yours. Thank you, Victoria. My goodness, I'm going to blush now.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Indigo twin, hormones are hell. Yes. Canceling hormones. Jesus.
Oh, the night sweats, mate. The night sweats. Oh, and I haven't even. I'm Perry. So what's it going to be like when it's full on? I hope it.
I don't know. I'm getting sweat from like my knees down only. So I wake up and like the bottom half of my legs are wet. Like, what's wrong? What is up with that?
That is weird.
Right. Thank you. Okay.
That's very strange. I have it all down my back of my shoulders, all my hair, all my head sweating, my back, like everywhere. I
get the flashes, like the hot flash. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. No, I hate it. Respect that she's holding it down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Indigo twin. You're doing so much good work, T. Plus you're smart and funny and cute. Boom. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So are you. You're lovely.
Poe on the go. Nora, everyone's first time wasn't just like Top Gun. Well, good for you, Poe. Good for you. Good for you.
I love Poe.
Gregory.
I love it when he talks about his missus as well. He's so cute.
I know. He's so in love. 4 a.m. ladies, time zone suck. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Thank good morning to you in South
Africa.
Here,
man. Appreciate you being here.
Nancy's shouting out all the Australian locations, headquarters in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, and Canberra.
So Adelaide at the moment, they had like a little, so Canberra, you missed out Brisbane.
Oh, no, she said is
there we go.
Mission in Tasmania and Brisbane. Church of Scientology Sydney is the regional headquarters for the entire Asian and Pacific area. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tasmania hasn't got a mission anymore. It's been shut down for about over 10 years, I think.
Fantastic.
Brisbane is like a shop front. Canberra is like a shop front. Adelaide was like a shop front, but they've recently put their what do you call it? It's not a church, is it? An org? Their shop front, their little shop. They put it up for sale, and they do have a building down in Port Adelaide, a huge building that's been there for like 17 years or something. But they haven't opened. Yeah, as far as I know, it hasn't had renovations. It must have had renovations started on it for them to be selling their little shop. Otherwise, they're left with nothing. So I don't know.
Well, they could leave with nothing and then still be fundraising for the renos.
Oh God, yeah. And where else is there? So Brisbane.
I did forget Miriam, but thank you, Swedish Lena, Miriam. And Cherokee wants me to know she has a YouTube.
Yes,
I will subscribe. Joy.
Yes.
And
Kirsty. Sorry, Kirsty really needs subs to go live.
Kirsty. Okay, what's her at on YouTube?
I don't know. It's I've got it all on my description, and I've got a community post.
Okay, let me look here.
I don't know how you say it. Scientology.
So is it Electric Boogaloo or
Electric Boogaloo is coming, but it's the other one. Hang on.
Scientology?
Yes, that's the one. Scientology.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that up here. We're gonna get Kirsty some more subs. Let's get her some more subs here.
Yes, please. Oh, I'm just looking at my chat now because I didn't know whether I should put YouTube up at the same time because it affects the sound sometimes.
Yeah, I have it up, but I have muted it.
Yes.
All right, so I am gonna put.
Sorry to everyone all the channel. I've missed.
Let's get her some subs here. I'm gonna put her up on the screen here for a second.
Oh, thank you. You're a legend.
Of course. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get everybody more subs. Here is Kirsty's channel. Yep. Right here.
Dung beetles.
I'm going to subscribe. I wasn't subscribed. Look at these little beetles. This is a dung beetle. I love it.
Kirsty actually has quite an interesting story. Her husband is an ex-member of the Children of God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So very, very...
and then this is Electric Boogaloo. That's fun. Are they Electric a crafty Boogaloo person?
We can't see Electric Boogaloo. You're still on Kirsty.
Oh, just kidding. Here. I always forget to click that other share thing. Now you can see it. And there's their Sydney video. Give these guys a subscribe so they can go live when the protest happens.
Let's see who else.
You didn't.
You can't see it. No, you didn't put it up.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I'm very surprised you're swearing, Nora. I thought you don't normally swear. Do you normally swear? Do you?
There we go.
Yay! And
there's
then
Electric Boogaloo.
We've got Joyce as well. And who else have we got? Oh, Karen Walker. Sorry, I just saw that. Sorry. Hello, squirrel. Scientology's had a Dianetic stand at the Perth Royal Show. Yes, they have them every year. This year, I'll be going there as well, and I'll be doing a counter thingamabob of my Truth About Drugs leaflets, which I've recreated as the Truth About Cults.
And here's Cherokee Joy.
Yep. Who else is there? There's a few other people that are coming that aren't streaming. So
okay, if you're not subscribed to the great Miriam,
yet, of course,
please subscribe to Miriam Francis. I love her with all my heart and soul.
She is amazing. I can't wait to meet her in person and give her the biggest hug. I've got all these people saying, "Oh, give Miriam a hug for me," so she's going to get like bombarded with hugs.
And of course,
Ree is awesome.
Ree is amazing, y'all. Please subscribe to her as well. She just broke that 100 subscribers mark recently, so now she can go live, which is so good. Guys, it only takes 100 subscribers to be able to go live, okay? And YouTube, to be honest with you right now, YouTube has changed up the algorithms. They're not really focused on subscribers. I mean, I'm always focused. I love all my subscribers. I love you. But in order to make an impact and get your stuff out there, you have to be interesting and you have to be making content. So whether you have 1,000 or 100,000 subscribers, that they're trying to like put equity into the playing field so that like somebody with just 100 subscribers can make a viral video as opposed to people like Mr. Beast who just, you know, apparently rule YouTube. So they're trying to get everybody to be connected and make an impact, and they're rewarding people who are doing all the things they want. I know you guys hate the vertical videos, but YouTube loves them. So we do have to keep doing them. We do have to keep doing them.
Wendy said something about there's a way to make it go horizontal, or you can view it horizontally.
Once you upload it, like you can upload it to CapCut, and then it'll put it out in this format, but it'll still be boxes around it, and then people go like, I can't watch that on my TV. Like you can, you just don't like it, and that tells me you're not an 80s baby who had boxes for television. That's okay.
Yes.
Christy says, hey girls, I'm so freaking excited to go and protest. We are a bunch of badass women that are going to do it. I'm only just realizing now just how huge this is going to be. Christy, it's going to be amazing.
Like I said before, this is the biggest protest against Scientology in Australia for more than 15 years. And I just thought, I'll pop to Melbourne and protest and I'll mention it. And then as I was going on and more people were interested, I thought, do you know what? Let's really go for it. And I have been putting the word out so much. I've been going in people's chats and seeing Aussies and asking them to email me, like, please join us. We really want to make a noise down under. So, yeah.
Please. If you guys are here and you're in somewhere in the Australian vicinity and you want to join, please email Perth. Give me your email.
perthaudit@gmail.com. Also, sorry, Scooter Mum asked if we can have all the links to the Aussie channels. Do you mean all of the Aussie channels that are involved in Scientology, or just the ones that are going to the protest?
I'm gonna bring up SPTV Space here at the end. She might have your Scottish accent beat. She absolutely does. She's Scottish, so I'm gonna bow to her. I bow to you. Oh,
and I'm from Glasgow as well, which is the strongest Scottish accent.
That's Scottish.
Yeah.
We're not fucking about. I appreciate control of the thermostat, the remote, and being on my own time schedule. I love that you don't want anyone to mess it up. That's boom. Be a strong, independent woman. Gregory, you think it's bad in Australia? Try Africa. You can't find a spot at McDonald's. All the Nigerian princes are sitting there just using the internet. Guys, I got a letter from Africa the other day. Hello, madam. My husband has just died and has like all that. I was like, guys, didn't you know this scam went away in like 2002? Like, no.
Oh, mate. I got TikTok messages from Keanu Reeves yesterday.
Ooh,
and
sexy.
Who else was the other one? Another one as well. And they're like, and I just answer them and I go, mate, how are you doing with this? Are you getting a lot of money? Like, do people actually fall for this? You know, like, what are you doing?
Right?
Idiot.
Like, good grief.
Like, seriously.
Christy says we do have unlimited plans, but they're like $120. Is that for one line?
Yeah, it's so expensive. Yeah, I just for me, I don't like having loads of direct debits going out of my account, so I just go pay as you go. That's it. And most of the time, I'm using Wi-Fi anyway to make calls, so I'm not gonna. I don't want to commit to a contract, and I'll just buy my phone outright, which is why my phone is covered in cracks and it's buggered. But I've had that for like 5 years, you know. So I might have to get a new one for the protest so I can have two.
Hey, you're all right. You're all right. One is all right. Victoria Morton's a new member. Welcome, welcome. Swedish Lena, that is wrong. Nora T was on a prepaid plan, which gives you limited amount of services. We do have unlimited. I have one. All right, Australia. Good job on getting an unlimited plan. Don't forget me, Nora. Donna, I could not forget you. Hello. Indigo Twin, will you put it on your community page when you come to certain cities, Nora? Because I'd love to make it down to the org if you come to town. I need to get out there. Yeah, if I do organize a tour, guys, I will be putting that out there days in advance. I promise you. Cheapest Scientology in the world. Oh, in the world is here in Johannesburg. Folks come here because it's cheap. Yes, because
the police go there.
The what?
The police go to the org and do the courses there. Gregory was saying,
but people go from all over the world to go to South Africa because the exchange rate of their money is so immense. So it ends up being like cheaper for them to do it there.
Yeah.
Fact: Hubbard was a scammer, philanderer, and a felon. Yes, he was. My rune is I'm bisexual and I fight authority.
Hell yeah.
Ariel Cereal. If you think a Bloody Mary is weird, try a Caesar. Like a Bloody Mary, but with clamato juice and spicy. I would probably die because I'm allergic to shellfish.
I don't know what clamato juice is. Oh, is that
clamato is clam juice. It's like clammy tomato juice.
That's so vile. I don't like shellfish or I don't like fishy fish. Like I like fish from the fish and chip shop, you know, just like fish that doesn't taste like
fried. So you're basically from the American South. You just fry it up. Okay.
In Glasgow, they do deep fried Mars bars, deep fried pizza, like anything deep.
That sounds like the fairs here in America, just deep frying everything.
But they put like the batter around it, you know, like I love battered sausages. They're freaking so good. They do the best chips in Glasgow, but they batter everything. Deep fried
just
pizza.
Batter it and fry it, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. That's the solution to life. Just batter it and fry it.
Solution to clogged arteries.
The YouTube filter does not filter Afrikaans. Yo mas se pus is a good generic.
Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, if you want to swear, it doesn't filter Afrikaans. So
yeah, no, I mean I didn't know what he was saying in Afrikaans.
Something about your mom.
Okay.
Everything in Afrikaans is a yo mama joke. I love that in Mexico, concha means shell or a Mexican sweetbread, but in Argentina, it's a huge insult.
Okay.
I think female lower anatomy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Freebird67, Nora, you're doing a great job on the internet. Thanks for supporting Australia and also Eric Rader. Of course, guys. Of course, I love everybody who's out here supporting the cause of getting rid of Scientology. So yes. My ex-husband is Children of God, Nora, if you've ever heard of that. I have. Yeah, Children of God is intense. That's an intense one also. Inconceivable. This was about you not liking sports.
Sorry.
SPTV never ends in Artology. Oh, my Perth.
Hello, Kelly. Love you to bits.
Hey, Ellen, by the way, still original seats at Fenway. They had much smaller butts back in the day and were okay with hard, uncomfy wood seats. Yeah. Fenway needs an update, but I still want to go. I want to see the green monster in real life. And Perth is like, I have no idea what any of those words just meant.
I thought you were talking about the AFL, the big butts in the AFL, which I haven't noticed.
Baseball. We're on to America's pastime.
Yeah.
Baseball.
No idea.
Bo Beats No Sheep has been a member for a month. I'm late. What's going on, ladies, eh? Pinche Becky, 0F's gifted 5 memberships on my channel.
Beautiful.
Holy cow. Thank you so much, Becky. If you got a membership right now, Thank Becky in the chat. Jenny Chi has been a member for 3 months. Right on. Guys, this has been an amazing talk. I am so glad that I finally got to talk to you in real life. I love everything that you're doing there down under in Australia. Guys, seriously, if you are thinking, you know what, I need to go to Australia for the first time, bonus, I'm going to go protest. If you have your own business, it's a tax write-off. So go to Melbourne, meet up with this beautiful lady and all of her friends, and protest Scientology together, because protesting is better together. Okay, that's my new slogan. All right. Well, we will see you all on the flippity dippity.
See your voice down under.
That's right, down under.
We need you. We need you.
Yes,
let's do it.
let's get Australia cleared of Scientology. Okay.
Yes.
I think we can do it. We can do it.
It was supposed to be the first clear continent,
and it will
so
be.
we can make it the first unclear continent.
It will be the first. It will be the first continent and country cleared of Scientology.
Yes,
that's our new statistic.
I want to go down to New Zealand as well at some point. They've got an org in New Zealand as well, so I want to go down there. Yeah.
No. Okay, we're gonna handle that too. We're gonna handle that too. All right, everyone. I love you, and I will see you on the flippity dippity.
Bye. 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 Oh, I want kisses. How do you do that?
You gotta